It's a new era here at the Big A and the New York Racing Association. New track announcer Larry Comas, who called here a few winters back in 2005 and 2006, currently the voice of the Triple Crown and the Breeders' Cup. Well, he's the new announcer going forward here at the Big A, the New York Racing Association. Spring, it's all around us, and we're set for one of the best parts of the day, off and running on this Wednesday edition. It's been a while since we've had a Wednesday show on Aqueduct Insider. Good to have the Richard Migliore back from the West Coast, Jason Blewit alongside, and it's just all good as we set our sights on Wood Day and the start of the main track.
Well, it did really feel like spring today. The weather really cooperated. The main track was open, and it got me excited about things to come. Obviously, the Wood Memorial this weekend, but also thinking further down the line to Belmont Park.
Just 27 days out, in fact, from opening day at beautiful Belmont Park. And this is a no fooling zone on this April Fool's Day, April 1st. It's a 3-year-old centric worth of headlines. And, of course, we'll have 9 consecutive races coming up on the main track in a short time. And we'll get you up to speed regarding Larry and what he sounded like high atop the Big A's roof. But Saturday is the big day. It is the marquee racing card at Aqueduct, the 12-race, 1250 first post with Daredevil. In fact, he's your horse to beat for Todd Pletcher in the Grade 1 Wood. Todd has won this race 2 out of the last 3 years. Here he is taking the Champagne. And, Mig, I guess the biggest question, how far does this horse want to go?
Well, that is a big question. And the one thing that could equalize distance limitations on Saturday is if he gets a wet track, as we see him just loving the mud here in the Champagne Stakes, beating Upstart, a horse I'm still high on in spite of his second-place finish in the Florida Derby. Daredevil is a fast horse. He's a good horse. He does encounter some other speeds in the Wood Memorial, but I think he is the speed of the speed.
He is trying to become the first Champagne winner since Easygoer back in 1988 and 89 to win both the Champagne and the Wood Memorial. We'll see if he's up to the task, facing 6 fellow 3-year-olds in the TwinSpire.com Wood Memorial. As we usher in, Mig, the Grade 1 action on this circuit for 2015 here on Saturday. We have not had a Grade 1 since the Cigar Mile, and not only do you get the Wood, well, you get the Carter as well. A very history-rich race. Solid group of sprinters going 7 furlongs. Comers from all over, and among them, Jerry Hollendorfer with the rare Big Apple starter and Wild Dude.
Yeah, Jerry Hollendorfer's not afraid to ship, though. We saw that a few years ago with Pollard's Vision, and I think he won the Met Mile a few years ago, too, as well. Sahara Sky, yep.
Absolutely. Shared Belief has got the Met
Mile
on his radar.
Yeah, thanks for correcting me.
It was by Pollard's Vision.
That's it, Blind Luck. I couldn't come up with the name.
It's all good.
But this is a very nice sprinter. It's a very strong field, as the Carter should be. It's a Grade 1. You got the big beast. You've got Dad's Caps. You got Clearly Now, who, you know, if he fires his big shot, is always tough.
For trader Brian Lidge, Clearly Now, who with the blinkers on really put things together before not running well Labor Day weekend in the Forgo. That remains his last start. He'll have Joel Rosario in a Grade 1 quality field. What about taking our show on the road? Well, 3-year-olds are prepping all over the country. It is the final dress rehearsal for the Kentucky Derby. Yep. We're about a month out. 100 Kentucky Derby points up for grabs to the winner of the Wood, Bluegrass, and Santa Anita Derby. And Todd Pletcher, well, if it's good to be Todd, you've got the morning line favorite in Daredevil. In the Wood, you've also got the heavy morning line favorite in the Bluegrass, worth $1 million, with Carpe Diem, who sees the day hands down in the Tampa Bay Derby.
Yeah, this was a really nice comeback. And you look at his form, what has he ever done wrong? He's got 2 wins, a good second in the Breeders' Cup with a very tough, wide trip. Comes back winning at the Tampa Bay Derby. Looks to me like he's gotten bigger, stronger. You know he likes Keeneland. He should be pretty tough there. And it'll be interesting to see if he performs up to expectations on Saturday. Who does Johnny Velasquez ride in the Derby, Materiality or Carpe Diem?
That's a question, and it's a great question. It's too early to answer right now. I would have to say at this point, maybe Materiality, but a big win by Carpe Diem. Boy, Angel Cordero, Todd, and Johnny will have to sit down. I mean, you've been there before. What's that like when you're getting together? It's a big race. You've got to talk to your agent, and there's just so much on the line, especially in a race like the Kentucky Derby.
Well, unfortunately, I was never in that position going to the Kentucky Derby.
Grade
it would have been nice.
Though.
No, but certainly Grade 1s. And you just try to cover every base. You want to look at it from every angle. Who's got the most upside going forward? Who's going to get the distance? And it's just a tough thing. Sometimes, too, you could ride the best horse and be unlucky and see the other horse in the winner's circle.
Well, you talk about a few talented 3-year-olds who are running big for one trainer. I do think in my heart, if Dortmund makes it a perfect 6 for 6 out at Santa Anita in the Santa Anita Derby this Saturday for trainer Bob Baffert. And again, runs big and runs fast. He will be, no matter who shows up in that field of 20, he will be your Kentucky Derby favorite as Bob Baffert sets his sights on a 7th victory in the Santa Anita Derby with the colt by Big Brown, who's just got it all. He really does.
He really does have it all. He's got the size. He's got that kind of look to him, the horse that you want, and he's a fighter. He'll fight for it. Horses get to him. He fights on. Obviously, American Pharaoh's very hyped in the Bob Baffert barn, but to me, this is the horse you want. He's battle-tested, and I don't think he's as comfortable up on the pace, Jason. I think he gets a little bit lost out there by himself, and then when he's engaged, he goes on. I think he's going to be more comfortable when he catches a fast pace, which he will get in the Kentucky Derby. I think Dortmund's the horse I'd want out of the Baffert barn.
It may, seem a bit top-heavy, but it's the truth. I mean, when you look at the upper echelon of these 3-year-olds marching towards the first Saturday in May, there's one legitimately good horse after another.
Yeah, it seems like a very strong crop. I mean, we're going to see how it shakes out, obviously, as we go forward. I thought last year was a very strong 3-year-old crop. I think this year has the potential to be an even better 3-year-old crop.
This is a day, I think, for many that's very lighthearted, and it's about joking around, but it was all about new beginnings on this April 1st at the Big A. Back on the main, new graphics package, and Larry Colmus gets us up to speed with his first call here at Aqueduct.
Track at Aqueduct. And it is Keep Bustin' who goes straight out to take the early lead. On the outside, 7 Stars away well, and Star of the Forest is down on the inside. And these 3 speed away from Ginny's Gray, who's at the back of the pack early on, and racing 4.5 lengths off the lead as they leave the chute and enter the back stretch, where it's Keep Bustin' going at it with Star of the Forest. These 2 matching strides on the lead, and they are clear after a 24-second flat opening quarter mile. Then it's 7 Stars who sits just off the leaders, guided to the inside in third with 2 lengths to make up early on, and Ginny's Gray at the back of the field 3.5 lengths off a front-running Star of the Forest and Jeremy Rose, and they've got a neck in front as the field continues their run up the back stretch. And Keep Bustin' now draws even. These 2 nose to nose on the lead as they go into the turn. They are stride for stride, a length and a half clear of Ginny's Gray, who's on the charge 3 wide, and now 7 Stars trails the field after a 48.5 mile. Around the far turn, and here comes Ginny's Gray on the far outside, and Ginny's Gray has gone up to take the lead as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Keep Bustin' is next, Star of the Forest on the inside, and 7 Stars trails the field, and they're into the stretch, and it's Ginny's Gray off the turn in front. Ginny's Gray, a length and a half lead here. Star of the Forest on the inside tries to battle on second. Keep Bustin' is third, and on the far outside it's 7 Stars. It is Ginny's Gray coming into the final 16th in front. Keep Bustin' on the outside trying to make a race of it late. It's Ginny's Gray and Keep Bustin', these 2 down to the line. Ginny's Gray did it under Angel Cruz. Keep Bustin' was second, and then Star of the Forest and 7 Stars.
Well, plenty of Maryland flavor in today's first race with Larry Colmus up in the booth. And how about that? King Leatherberry, 82 years old, over 6,000 winners, and he sends out the Gray, Ginny's Gray, in the first.
And a first-time Hall of Fame ballot for King Leatherberry. He's on the ballot this year. A lot of people feel like that's long overdue. Interesting, Larry Colmus, the first race he ever called down in Maryland, King Leatherberry won it. He comes up to New York, the
Amazing.
First race with the new job in New York, and King Leatherberry wins it. Seems like there's some sort of kismet about that.
Yeah. Who's the lucky charm? Is it King Leatherberry or Larry Colmus? I'll tell you, it all worked out, and Bowie was the racetrack, in fact, that Larry Colmus jump-started his career with King Leatherberry.
Was that Baba Bowie?
It wasn't Baba Bowie, but
Bowie?
we love Gary Delabate.
Yeah,
Indeed,
me too. Yeah, big fan.
All right, Ginny's Gray in the first race, 5-year-old mare by Political Force. Angel Cruz, the 5-pound apprentice, was aboard, and it's not a Baba Bowie to y'all. It's Javier Castellano and Johnny V coming back in the second segment as we check out the late pick 4 on this Wednesday here at Aqueduct. Big doings here on Saturday. It is Wood Day, an extended 12-race card that gets underway. A special early first post of 12:50 p.m. And money, 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 we will up the ante in that all-graded stakes pick 4, $500,000. It will be a gargantuan pool, and a lot of money will be up for grabs, my friend, in this $400 buy-in handicapping contest.
Yeah, and this is something that I've become more aware of, is this live money and the buy-ins. And I mean, I'm not ever going to get involved, but it's fun for me to watch.
And it's a great day. You spend the day at the Big A, the camaraderie up in long shots. The place will be packed. The forecast looks okay. And we'll sweeten up the deal. We'll give you that TwinSpires.com wood cap with a post-parade and/or voucher purchase. It's the Big. It's Jason. We're glad you're with us. And on this April 1st, we'll get it back. Larry Comas with the call. John Velasquez, Javier Castellano, 2 in race number 6 for Chad Brown. The late pick 4 begins on a high note as we go back to Larry for race number 6.
Off. Andrews got Zip started well. Apollo 11 on the inside fires out to take the lead. These two won too early. And then it's Overawe who came out running in third. April Color is fourth. And then on the inside comes Pioneer of Wi-Fi. Beyond the Green is next. And Woodford Pine has been outrun in the early stages here. Already about 12 lengths behind as they leave the chute. And Apollo 11 is the leader by a half a length over Andrews got Zip. Overawe third to the outside, 23 and 4 the opening quarter mile. And then it's April Color. Pioneer of Wi-Fi is on the inside with 4 lengths to make up, right alongside of Beyond the Green, and it's another 7 lengths back to Woodford Pine, who's well behind the field as Apollo 11 and Andrews got Zip head to the half-mile pole a half length apart, and Overawe is just to the outside of them, and these 3 move into the far turn all together after a 47 and 2 half-mile, and then it's Beyond the Green fourth by another 4. Starting to pick it up is Woodford Pine, who was so far behind early, having gone by April Color and Pioneer of Wi-Fi. And they're coming toward the top of the stretch. Andrews got Zip has overtaken Apollo 11. And here comes Beyond the Green, who's moving up alongside. Overawe is wide and put to the whip in third. And then comes Woodford Pine, who's made steady progress, but still plenty of work to do. Beyond the Green and Kendrick Carmouche, the ones to beat, with 1 furlong to go. Overawe second to the outside. Woodford Pine continues to make progress, but is third as they come to the wire. Beyond the Green's got it. Beyond the Green and Kendrick Carmouche to beat Overawe. Woodford Pine was third and April Color was fourth.
Beyond the Green, Pink Cap, 3 wide, gets the money over the Chad Brown duo, and Jimmy Ryerson, 19 years removed from that Wood victory with Unbridled Song, sends out this consistent horse.
It's hard to believe it's 19 years. This horse gets a perfect trip under Kendrick Carmouche, saves ground, comes out when he has to. Kendrick, a very, very welcome addition to the jockey county here. Interesting, too. Usually the Generazio horses are gray. This was a dark bay by Freud.
By Freud, in fact, out of an unbridled mare. Just consistency, the name of the game. 7 starts, 1 win, 3 seconds, 2/3. You were a little surprised how far back the 2 Woodford Pine was in the early stages beneath Johnny?
Yeah, I really was, but he just seemed lethargic. Like he kind of got lost the first part. Then he made that big run kind of in the middle of the race and flattened out a bit and then finished again with some interest. I think we want to see this horse back with some blinkers on.
All right, let's get the spotlight on today's featured 8th race. A purse of over 80,000, optional claiming tags of 100K. These are good horses. Stakes implications down the road, perhaps. Let's go back to Larry for the call out of the 1 mile chute.
And then it's Amber Jack on the far outside. And then comes 3 Alarm Fire, who's running a bit rank in the early stages here, racing to the outside of Kid Cruz. 3 Alarm Fire, really with an unusual early stride here on the far outside. Hard to settle. Then comes Awesome Vision, Mr. Palmer to the inside, and the trailer is Speak Logistics. Out of the chute, onto the backstretch they go, and it's Mail in front. Ran a 23 and 4 opening quarter mile, and Mail leads it by a length. Amber Jack is running in second. 3 Alarm Fire settling down now third on the outside. Red Vine is fourth by another 2. Kid Cruz given a reminder to keep up here. Back running in 5th. 5 lengths off the lead. 3 lengths ahead of Speak Logistics. Awesome Vision to the outside and Mr. Palmer at the rail. And they're all right together past the half-mile pole where Mail leads the way. Mail on top, 3 Alarm Fire. Now getting closer, second on the outside through a 47 and 2 half mile. These 2 now head and head on the lead. And then comes Red Vine running in third just behind them. Amber Jack is fourth by 2. Getting going is Awesome Vision on the outside of Kid Cruz, who's under a drive. And then it's Mr. Palmer, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. And it is Mail and 3 Alarm Fire. And on the outside, Red Vine. Now these 3. And Red Vine on the outside runs for the lead with a furlong to go and takes off. Red Vine pulling away by 3. Red Vine by 4, and Kid Cruz takes second. Then it's 3 Alarm Fire, Mail, and Awesome Vision, but it's Red Vine and Manny Franco winning it by 3 easy lengths. And then it was Kid Cruz. 3-Alarm Fire, Awesome Vision, and Mail.
Horses hadn't even saddled back to be unsaddled after today's featured 8th race, and my Twitter feed abuzz with people very impressed by Red Vine, and why not? Take a look at this victory. He was awesome today.
He was awesome, and look at the way he sticks his head out, straight out, reaching for the wire. This horse is now 2 for 2 on dirt, geared down through the wire, and the Manny Franco spent the first 13 starts of his life on the turf. Well, he's found a home. It's dirt.
Another cigar in the making, perhaps?
Well, he's got the streak going.
5-year-old son of Candy Ride, 2 in a row for Christophe Camont, as the Mig, in fact, caught up with Manny Franco after today's featured 8th race.
Manny, you're 2 for 2 now on Red Vine. He looks like he's a pretty nice horse to ride.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. You know, he do whatever you want to. He did. You know, and he give you.
Yeah, look like when he's sitting in behind horses, very comfortable.
Yeah, I have a lot of horse down me. You know, when I say time to go, he respond pretty good and he take off.
You had such a good winter. In spite of being suspended, you finished 3rd in the standings. How important is it to get off to a good start on the main track with a lot of the riders that were in Florida coming back?
Yeah, because that's the first time, you know, the first thing. They come to Florida and you have to start winning, you know, because they give you more chance to you, you know.
Wondering if the May 2nd Westchester at beautiful Belmont Park, that is Kentucky Derby Day May 2nd, might be on the radar for Red Vine off this win today.
I'd have to think that that's the next race they're looking at. He won today like a horse that can definitely step up and handle stakes company on the dirt. He was as impressive visually, and the margin of victory says that what you saw was true.
A few subplots on the line in addition to Red Vine in his 5-year-old debut in this 8th race. Now, horses like 3-Alarm Fire and Mail did not run well. Amberjack was nowhere to be found. Kid Cruz, it seemed to me, had a lot to gain but also a lot to lose, and I think he ran okay.
Yeah, I thought he ran okay. I thought it was definitely a step in the right direction. I think Kid Cruz is a horse that needs pace because he's going to be slow early and he's going to continue to come forward, but he needs them to kind of back up. And we saw Red Vine was not backing up.
It's a Wednesday on the main as we go back to Larry C. We'll get you up to speed. Pick 6 carryover as well, 30K just about for the calls of 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9.
There, down toward the inside, a Pretty Smooth Guy and Fidelius, and they're into the stretch, and it's Moro and Jesus coming to the 8th pole with a 3-length lead on a Pretty Smooth Guy. After that, it's Fidelius and our posse on the far outside. In the final furlong, and Moro and Jesus has a 4-length lead. A Pretty Smooth Guy trying to cut into the gap late, but Moro and Jesus gives Angel Cruz a double. Pretty Smooth Guy was second, and then came Fidelius and Devilish Grin. Darn That Trip's under a full-out drive, and All Love Me is fourth, and they're into the stretch. And it is Little Miss Lupe joined to the outside by Brigetta. These two to the 8th pole together. Little Miss Lupe still there. Brigetta to the outside, a furlong to get by. Little Miss Lupe holding off Brigetta, in fact pulling away now. Little Miss Lupe repels the bid of Brigetta and goes on to win. Brigetta settles for second, and then All Love Me and Kiss Cat. Boulevard is right in behind the leaders with 3 to make up at the top of the stretch. Midnight and Positano. CC's Pride to the outside. Farther out, Taylor Jagger. Ocean Boulevard trying to find a little bit of running room. Rock Show, after that slow start, is closing on the far outside. CC's Pride. Here's Rock Show on the outside. Ocean Boulevard third. Rock Show trying to come and get CC's Pride. Rock Show on the outside. CC's Pride at the rail. These two head-to-head, nose and nose. CC's Pride or Rock Show. And then it was Ocean Boulevard and Taylor Jagger. Unrepentant and Angel Cruz turned for home, and they've got a 7-length lead. And then it's Keen on Green on the outside second, followed by Stage Name along the rail, and then Talk to Me and Bella Facci. Down to the last 16th, and Unrepentant is all by herself. Angel Cruz onto his 3rd win of the day, and this one was easy. Unrepentant romps home over Talk to Me, Keen on Green, and Bella Facci. As they come to the top of the stretch, Bossman is 3rd, and cutting the corner and angling off the rail is Humboldt Street. They're into the stretch, and Marine One's got another furlong to go, a 2.5-length lead here. Humboldt Street has moved up into second. On the inside comes Mark My Style, then Psychology, and Cement Job on the outside, but it's Marine One. Marine One and Junior Alvarado eased up under the wire. They're going to win it by 4 in the end over Humboldt Street. And that was Mark My Style in Psychology. Up at a stretch, and it is still Colorado Grand Slam holding on to the lead as they come into the final furlong. Now opening up 2.5, 3 lengths on GR's Giant. Colorado Grand Slam and Jose Ortiz are pulling away at the 16th pole. They're all by themselves, and Colorado Grand Slam is just going to roll home to victory here by about 9 in the end over GR's Giant. Send It In got up for 3rd, and then Freudian Lights 4th.
Going, gone was Colorado Grand Slam in that last race. We are reminded, not that we need it, and especially a guy like you, Mike Hushin, terrific job. He is 8 for his last 17 with maidens stretching out on the dirt.
Yeah, Mike's just a tremendous horseman, someone who's known how to get it done forever, and any kind of horses, starting out from claimers through maidens all the way up to good horses, and obviously a grade 1 winning trainer now. Terrific horseman.
And this was a final pick 3 composed of top-class horsemen. Mike Hushin in the nightcap, and back-to-back Christophe Clement trained winners, and this is Christophe's first day back since shipping up from Florida, and this is the first of the rolling Clement double. Marine One, who really didn't bring the razzle-dazzle. This was more of a long drive, lumbering to the lead, but he did what he had to do to take down race 7.
Yeah, but you know what I like about it? And he does kind of keep coming. And you look at his ears. He kind of runs with the emergency brake on. You can see his ears come up. He's going to gear himself down a bit. I think this is a horse that doesn't have a long attention span. Seems like he runs a little and kind of gets off the bridle. Runs a little, gets off a little. So I think there's a lot more in the tank with Marine One, and a horse that if the light goes on, maybe has a lot more ability.
And we'll see if the light will go on for a new trainer, because he was odds on in race 7. It was a 3-year-old restricted claimer with $40,000 tags. And if I'm not mistaken, I've got to think of more than a few people dropped a claim slip on Marine One, who's a son of Malibu Moon, as we get the claims up there. And indeed, Abigail Adset, a new trainer, Marine One, going home to her barn tonight.
Yeah, I think this is a good claim. You could see he had a blinker hood on, but not much of a blinker cup. I'll be curious to see if they don't put a little more blinker cup on him, because I think he needs to kind of get his focus.
And a day of reclaims. Ginny's Gray reclaimed by Danny Gargan. Unrepented, who had the big drop to 12.5, reclaimed by Greg DePrima. And we've got our Thursday preview coming up at the Big A, a 9-race card that begins at 1:20 p.m. Some very talented New York breds in the featured 8th race, with a nod to the Chicago Blackhawks and the Miami Dolphins. Stay tuned. Back at the Big A, you can't go wrong with the new coat of paint. The game has really stepped up into the 21st century here at the Big A. We hope you're enjoying our new graphics on this Wednesday edition of Aqueduct Insider, and, of course, the live NYRA feed as we look ahead 9 weeks out, thereabout, to the June 7th Test of the Champion. Its summer starts here at the 147th Belmont Stakes.
As much as you look forward to the Belmont Stakes and hopefully the potential of a Triple Crown, that day of racing is such a spectacular day, and it's much like a springtime Breeders' Cup. Grade 1s galore, and horses for every category. If you love horse racing, you have to be at Belmont Park on Belmont Stakes Day.
Over 100,000 plus last season to see California Chrome in a bid for the Triple Crown. It didn't work out. He's taking his game to Royal Ascot. We'll see what shakes out later this year. What's your early opinion of California Chrome going to Royal Ascot?
I think it's a huge mistake. I think the horse is a good horse, and now they're kind of stretching it. They're reaching with him. I know some people say, well, it's sporting. I don't know if the horse would feel that way, and I'm all about the horse.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on to the Thursday preview, race number 8. We've got Captain Serious, named for Jonathan Taves of the Chicago Blackhawks, and this horse has been a serious competitor. He's very, very good.
Yeah, he's very good. 4 wins out of 10 starts with a 2nd and 3/3, over $300,000 in earnings. He's found his speed again in the Holly U's. I thought he kind of maybe his speed got dulled a little bit. They did try to stretch him out. I think he found his speed again, and I think going 7 furlongs, he is the speed of this affair. Will the 7/8 be his undoing? He's going to have to settle a little bit.
And Saratoga Snack should like the 7/8. He reunited with Gary Siaka. This was perhaps one of the more popular wins on the inner track all winter long. This horse has got a pretty big fan base, and it was good to see him back on his game with Gary.
Yeah, I mean, he had been winless in a while. Gary gets him back in his barn, gets in the winner's circle again. He is 1 for 1 at the 7 furlong distance. I think potentially maybe he's a better one-turn kind of horse, and I think 7/8 may suit him best of all. He needs to keep that form that he had last time, or maybe even step it up a little bit, but it looks like his breezes recently say that he's in good health.
So a nod to the Blackhawks, a nod to an old ball boy on the Miami Dolphins there with Captain Sirius and Saratoga Snacks, Commandante for Todd Pletcher, who off a trainer change a couple of years ago went through the roof with Todd, but seemed to, at least in his recent races, lose his form.
Well, he had tailed off pretty severely and hasn't run since last May. Returns with a kind of a makeover, blinkers off. I think he gets an advantageous outside post, 7/8. Get the outside post is always a good thing. And he's a horse that wants to be involved, and maybe being fresh in that outside post is going to put him in position, although I think they'll all be chasing Captain Sirius early.
Following today's featured 8th race with Red Vine, the State Breds will put on a good show tomorrow afternoon. Again, we get things underway at 1:20 p.m., and we're always looking to cash tickets and get the cash. And here's a man standing by who's got all the angles covered. It's Andy Serling with who to look for.
Race 6 on Thursday. The favorite's going to be the 2 Agate, a horse who already broke his maiden, actually, and was disqualified, I should say, her maiden, when she won her last race and got taken down. Yeah, she's the horse to beat, but this is a tougher field than the one she faced last time, so I'm going to look to try to beat her. And I think the horse to try to beat her with is a 7-dot product. Not going to be a huge price, but should be a fair enough price in the 4 to 5 to 1 range. A horse that I thought did some running late in its debut, and last time out got caught in a situation where it just wasn't that easy trying to close, and she was well back in the field after coming in the start, and the trip never worked out for her. Getting back to the main track, I'm hoping she gets a fairer trip, and I just think she's coming out of some better races than the one she's in here. A fair enough price in that 4 to 1 range, and it's all about the 7-dot product for me in the 6th race as we head back to the studio.
Day number 2 on the main track. It commences tomorrow at 1:20 p.m. That'll do it for the Mig and myself. We thank you for tuning in, and have a great night.